It was a hot and humid June morning. The ticking sound of the clock echoed through the empty room as Olivia Morgan, a dedicated 32-year-old teacher, felt a shiver run down her spine. She looked around, her green eyes capturing every familiar detail. The drawings on the walls, the neatly arranged desks, the scent of chalk and lilies, her favorite perfume. Something was wrong, a premonition that made her skin crawl. Little did she know that today would be her last day. And if the last hug you gave your children was truly the last, what words would you whisper in their ears? My voice, deep and mysterious, lingers in the air as I watch Olivia, a mother of two and a dedicated teacher, cross the threshold of her classroom. The ticking of the clock was no longer a mere marker of time. Each tick felt like a muffled scream, a veiled warning that something was approaching. Olivia looked at the clock on the wall, and for a moment, it seemed she heard not the mechanical sound, but the sound of a destiny that had already been set. Olivia has black curly hair that gently falls over her shoulders, the voluminous curls shining in the morning light. Her green eyes, deep and bright, convey a mixture of wisdom and compassion. Her fair skin contrasts with the darkness of her hair, giving her a delicate appearance. Her slim figure reflects an active life, a woman always on the move, with agile, delicate hands that dance as she organizes the room or writes on the board. As she arranged the desks in a circle, every movement seemed laden with inexplicable melancholy. Did she know what was coming? The way her fingers slid across the desks, as if it were the last time she would feel that touch of polished wood. Every step was a silent goodbye, a farewell disguised as routine. I am Lucius Eternus, an angel of death, and today I am here not by chance. Join me as I unveil the final moments of a life that shines brightly, even in the face of impending twilight. A life dedicated to shaping the future, now on the brink of its inevitable conclusion. Olivia is an extremely helpful and generous person, always willing to assist others. Her honesty and integrity are standout traits that make her respected and admired by everyone around her. As a mother, she is devoted and loving. To her children, Emma and Lucas, she is the center of their world, a constant source of support and affection. As a wife, she is the dedicated companion to Paul, always present with an encouraging smile and kind words. In the classroom, Olivia is more than a teacher. She is an inspiring guide. Her passion for teaching is contagious, and her dedication to understanding each student as an individual is evident in every gesture. She deeply believes in the transformative power of education and does everything she can to be a light in the life of every child who passes through her class. You might think that what's about to happen to Olivia is unfair. It's obvious she'll be missed by many, but that's just how the mysteries of life work. As the day progressed, I observed every step of Olivia. During lunch, sunlight streamed through the cafeteria windows, and Olivia sat at a table with some colleagues. The conversation around was lively, full of plans and expectations for the future. However, Olivia seemed distant. She looked at the almost untouched plate of food, feeling a deep emptiness in her stomach. "You seem worried, Olivia," remarked Sarah, a colleague, noticing her expression. Olivia tried to smile. "Just a bit tired," she replied, trying to reassure her colleague, but she felt something more. A growing unease, as if every moment carried an unusual weight. Later, in the teacher's lounge, Olivia tried to find comfort in familiar routine. She looked around the room, observing every detail, the windows that had so often been opened to let in the fresh breeze, the carefully decorated walls, the smiling faces of her colleagues. It was as if she was seeing everything for the last time, trying to memorize every little detail. Around her, the conversation was lively, the teachers talking about the end of the semester and plans for the next school year. But to Olivia, every voice seemed distant, muffled. "I'm really grateful for all of you," she murmured to herself, her words swallowed by the noise around her. She held her cup of tea firmly, trying to anchor herself in something familiar, but there was a sense of farewell, a desire to cry that she couldn't shake. Feeling an inexplicable urgency, Olivia decided to resolve an old conflict with Jane, a science teacher with whom she had always had a silent rivalry. Finding her in the hallway, Olivia called out, her voice unexpectedly firm. "Jane, I'm sorry for the tension between us," said Olivia, feeling relieved to speak. Surprised, Jane responded softly, "I'm sorry too. I guess we never tried to understand each other." For a brief moment, they looked each other in the eyes, and the weight of years of rivalry dissolved. Olivia smiled slightly and continued on her way, feeling lighter. as if a burden had been lifted from her shoulders. Back in the classroom, the soft sound of footsteps echoed through the empty room. Olivia walked slowly. Her face, framed by her rebellious black curls, carried a serene smile that contrasted with the unease in her green eyes. The classroom, usually a whirlwind of colors and sounds, was strangely quiet. In the corner, a pile of drawings made by her children, Emma and Lucas, awaited to be hung, reminders of a love that would soon become eternal. A sudden sound, the tinkling of wind chimes hung by the window, startled Olivia. For a brief moment she imagined hearing her children's laughter mixed with the sound, a premonition of the day that was to come. The clock on the wall read 1:30. In exactly 7 hours and 30 minutes, Olivia Morgan would give her last lesson, one that none of her students or children would ever forget. And I will be there, as I always am, to guide her on her final journey. The bell rings, and Olivia's classroom fills with the lively chatter of children returning from lunch. I watch as she greets them, her smile masking the restlessness that haunts her. Each young face that passes by her carries a story, a life she's touched in ways she doesn't fully comprehend. "Good afternoon, Miss Olivia," little Tommy shouts, his eyes shining with adoration. Olivia kneels down to hug him, and for a moment, a sharp pain slices through her chest like a knife. She disguises it with a cough, but I see the fleeting fear in her eyes. The pain, ever present, is a secret she fiercely guards. As the class progresses, Olivia loses herself in her memories. I see flashbacks of her career parading before her eyes. Sarah, the shy girl who is now a confident lawyer. Miguel, the troubled boy who became a dedicated social worker. Each memory is a drop of ink on the grand canvas of her life, a masterpiece nearing completion. Her eyes, filled with tears, a blend of pride and a deep sadness knowing she won't see the future she helped shape. "Miss Olivia, are you okay?" Lily's voice brings her back to the present. Olivia realizes she's been standing still, staring at the clock on the wall. The hands seem to be moving faster today, as if urged by an invisible force. "I'm fine, dear," she replies, but her hand unconsciously moves to the left side of her chest. The pain is there, always present. Not even Paul, her husband, knows about the shadow growing inside her. During the afternoon break, Olivia stays alone in the classroom. She takes a photo from her bag, her, Paul, and the kids at the park. Her fingers tremble slightly as she touches the smiling faces. "Did I do enough?" she whispers to herself, a question that lingers into eternity. Every detail of the photo, the crooked smile of Paul, Lucas's messy hair, Emma's infectious laughter, was a universe of love she feared, leaving behind forever. The clock on the wall continues its relentless rhythm. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Every passing second is a grain of sand slipping through the hourglass of her life. Olivia glances at it repeatedly, as if unconsciously feeling the weight of time running out. As the school day ends, Olivia says goodbye to her students with longer than usual hugs. "See you later at the party, kids," she says, her voice full of a sweetness trying to hide the sadness. "Have fun, and don't forget to bring your best smiles." "We're going to dance a lot, Miss Olivia," Tommy exclaims, jumping with excitement. Olivia smiles, but there's a hint of sadness in her eyes, a reflection of something she felt but didn't know what it was. "Yes, Tommy, we'll dance a lot," she replies softly, stroking the top of his head. "And remember, tonight will be special." When the last student leaves, Olivia stands in the middle of the silent room. She looks at the clock one more time, 3:30. Exactly 4 hours and 30 minutes left of Olivia's life. The ticking echoes loudly in the empty room. Time was running out. As she begins to pack up her things, getting ready to head home and then to the farewell party, I, Lucius Eternus, prepare for the final act of this story. The stage is set, the actors ready. The grand finale of a life devoted to love and teaching is about to begin. And you, dear friend, are invited to witness these final moments, where every second counts, every breath is precious, and the true meaning of a life well lived reveals itself in the shadow of impending death. The clock on the wall strikes 8:00 p.m. Olivia Morgan's time is running out. As Olivia walked to the school's farewell party feeling an inexplicable anxiety, I revealed myself to her in my human form under the soft light of a street lamp, dressed in a black suit. She stopped when she saw me, sensing a mysterious familiarity. "Olivia," I said softly, "you are very loved. You've made a difference in many lives and have a beautiful family." Confused, she repeated my words. "Made a difference?" I saw fear and understanding in her eyes, as if she sensed something was about to change. "I'm with you," I added. "Your journey is reaching an important moment, but you are not alone." She closed her eyes, trying to process what I had said. When she opened them again, I was no longer there. Only silence and the wind surrounded her. Despite her confusion, I felt my words brought her some clarity and comfort. Olivia continued on her way to the party with a heavy heart, and I, as always, would be there to guide her to the end. The classroom, now transformed for the end-of-year party, is decorated with colorful ribbons, balloons, and handmade drawings by Olivia's students. The soft lights create a warm, welcoming glow in the room, while the sky outside darkens completely. Children's laughter and the lively murmur of parents' conversations fill the space. They are there to celebrate the end of the school year, proud of their children and grateful to Olivia, who taught and cared for each one with such kindness. Olivia is at the center of the room, arranging the final details of the celebration. Every move she makes is careful, but there's a subtle hesitation in each gesture. However, for a brief moment, everything she felt throughout the day, the pain, the worry, the anxiety, disappears. A sense of peace and fulfillment washes over her heart. It's as if a gentle breeze had swept away all her doubts and fears, leaving only the certainty that her mission here had been completed. She feels a lightness, a freedom she has never experienced before. "Miss Olivia, what do you think of my drawing?" asked Lily, approaching with a sheet of paper in her hands. The drawing is of her, depicted as an angel, smiling at her students. Olivia looks at the sheet, her deep green eyes shining with tears she quickly disguises with a soft smile. "It's beautiful, Lily. You're a talented artist," she says, her voice gentle but broken by an emotion only I can perceive. Soft music begins to play, and the lights twinkle, creating a dreamlike atmosphere. The students, excited, pull Olivia to the center of the room, while their parents watch with smiles. She laughs, but there's a shadow of pain in her eyes. As she dances, a sharp pain suddenly pierces her chest. She places a hand over her heart, trying to hide the discomfort with a forced smile. "Are you okay, Miss Olivia?" Tommy asks, his innocent eyes fixed on her. Olivia tries to respond, but her voice fails. The pain intensifies, like an electric current spreading through her body. She staggers, her legs weaken. The music and the laughter of the children and parents begin to sound distant, becoming just a murmur. "Please keep dancing," she whispers. But the worry in the eyes of the students and parents is evident. Mrs. Martinez, the school principal, immediately notices something is wrong. The pain becomes unbearable, a crushing pressure that bends her in half. Olivia tries to take a step, but her strength leaves her. She falls to her knees and a tense silence fills the room. "Someone, call an ambulance," Mrs. Martinez shouts, rushing to Olivia's side. The children, now paralyzed by fear, start to cry, and the parents gather around, unsure of what to do. As chaos unfolds around her, time seems to slow down for Olivia. Her vision begins to darken around the edges. She sees the face of each child, their wide eyes full of fear and confusion, and feels a wave of sadness and love. She wants to calm them, to say that everything will be all right, but her words remain stuck. In her final moments of consciousness, flashes of her life pass before her eyes, the laughter of Emma and Lucas when they were babies. The first time she held their tiny hands and promised to protect them forever. She sees Paul, his face marked by fatigue but lit up with love. Paul, Emma, Lucas. Her lips form their names, though no sound comes out. Tears stream down her face as she sees them one last time, as if they were there beside her. The pain starts to fade, replaced by a feeling of lightness. She feels a gentle touch, my touch, and knows the time has come. Her body relaxes, and a soft smile forms on her lips. She feels a deep peace, a certainty that death is just a passage, not an end. Death is not the end, it is simply the release into a new beginning. Olivia looks at me, her eyes meeting mine. There's understanding in her gaze, a calm acceptance. She takes one last breath, and with it, all the pain and fear disappear. At that moment, I use my scythe to gently cut her silver cord, severing the last connection between her physical body and spirit. Her soul is freed, and for a brief moment, she finds herself standing beside her own body, looking down at the scene. The children gather around her, their little faces wet with tears. Her colleagues and the parents try to revive her, their desperation clear in their actions. Olivia feels a wave of peace and love, realizing how much she was loved and the impact she had on those around her. "You are all so brave," she murmurs, her voice now just a soft echo in the room. "Don't be afraid. I will always be with you." She feels a warm current around her, as if the universe is embracing her. The light around her begins to shine brighter, pulling her to a place beyond human understanding. The sounds of music, laughter, and even the sobs of the children and parents fade away. Everything becomes peaceful. Olivia looks back one last time, sees her body still surrounded by love and concern, and knows her legacy will continue through those she touched. Then, she moves on, floating into the light, guided by my silent presence. And so, the soul of Olivia Morgan leaves the earthly world, but her impact, her lessons, her love, will continue to live on in the hearts of everyone who was fortunate enough to cross her path. The classroom, where she poured so much of her passion and energy, becomes a sanctuary of her memory, where Olivia's essence will live forever. "Olivia Morgan," I murmur as I watch her drift away. "You were more than a teacher. You were a guide, a light. In dark times, may your journey be eternal and full of peace." The clock on the wall ticks away in a sorrowful silence. What was once a joyous farewell party has now become a space filled with grief. Olivia's body has been taken away, but her presence lingers, felt in every corner, in every heart. The lights seem softer, as if they too are mourning her departure. I see parents and teachers with red, tear-stained eyes, seeking comfort in each other, gazing at Olivia's drawing made by Lily, a guardian angel. The children, overcome with emotion, begin to cry. Little Tommy, clutching his mother's hand, asks why Miss Olivia had to leave, and his mother holds him close, trying to hold back her own tears. I turn to you. Think about it. How many lives do you touch without even realizing it? What will be your legacy? What are you doing in this life to become a better person? Death is not the end, I say softly. It is just a chapter in a much larger journey. And one day, my friend, we shall meet again. On the day of your death,